So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My today's topic for discussion is grouped frequency distributions. I have made certain notes for you, and I'll give you an example. Rather, I'll take a question from the exercise, and then I'll let you know how do we draw various charts and graphs. But before that, if an ungrouped data with a sizable quantities in that, so how do we then group that ungrouped data into a frequency distribution table, and what steps are mandatory you must follow properly. I mean, the mandatory steps, if somebody is not writing and directly writing the table, so it means the person has not gone through all the proper steps and he has either cheated from somebody or somebody has helped. So direct you can't make the table, that group uh, distribution you can't make. So you have to have go through a few steps before that. Let me go through. When the range of the data is large, I mean, for a small size data, it's very easy to handle. But when the data is large, then the data must be grouped into classes that are more than 1 unit in width. This is called the group frequency distribution. I'll tell you how do we find the width of a class. So commonly used graphs which are very important in statistics, they are three most commonly used graphs are in research are: number one, the histogram; number two, the frequency polygon; and number three, the cumulative frequency graph. Its nickname is Ujjayi. I mean, you may call it Ujjayi. This is called the cumulative frequency distribution graph. And even from this graph, we are able to find the value of the median. The median is a value which is in the mid of the data. I mean, half of the data will be on the left side and half of the data will be on the right side, but data must be arranged in the sequential order, means either in the ascending order or in the descending order, and the mid value will serve the purpose for the median. So that I will explain in the next lectures also. But here from the graph, and from the graph of Ujjayi, we can find the value of the median. So that I'll do inshallah in one of the exercises, and you'll come to know how do we find the value of the median graphically. There is a formula to find the value of the median numerically, but both the methods must be known to you well. My first graph, this I'm discussing here, this is the histogram. The histogram is a graph that displays the data by using continuous vertical bars of various heights to represent the frequencies of the classes. Last time we drew vertical uh, bar graph, and in that we were having gaps between each bar. Okay, and we started from the lowest and then we went to the highest, if you remember. That was the vertical bar graph. But here the graphs bars will be not separated with gaps. They will be adjusted with each other, and they will remain in the sequential order. Maybe a larger graph, larger bar first, and a smaller bar next, and then again medium bar, maybe a smaller bar. So there is no, I mean, sequential order for the height of the bars here. So as we are going to have from the classes, in the same way, we will be drawing the vertical bars, but they will be uh, drawn side by side. There will be no gaps between them. This shape of the graph, this is known as the histogram. Next is the frequency polygon. The frequency polygon is a graph that displays the data the frequency polygon is a graph that displays the data by using lines that connect points plotted for the frequencies at the midpoints of the classes. Now, in this case, you will be taking the midpoints of each class. First, we'll make the class. I'll let you know how do we make the class. Then we just add the lower limit and upper limit. After adding these two, we divide it by 2. I mean, I take the average of each class. This average value is called the midpoints. Well, the graph will be plotted along the midpoints versus frequencies. Okay. The frequencies are represented by the heights of the points. So definitely the frequency is according to the that will be representing the height of the points of each point, each midpoint. And then we'll be joining all these points after finding these points and locating on the graph. You need to find two more midpoints. One exactly before the data and one exactly after the data. I mean, 2 points, these won't be given to you in the data. You are yourself to calculate, because the frequency for these 2 points, I mean, one before the data and one after the data, because data is not catering for these 2 points, but we need to find these 2 points. So frequency will be 0 for both the 2 points, okay, for the both mid 2 midpoints. So they both will be on the x-axis, horizontal axis. So your graph will start from the x-axis and it will finish on the x-axis. So polygon means closed figure. It will be closed only when it will start from the x-axis and it will finish at the x-axis. That I'll let you know, and you'll see how am I taking it on the graph paper and handling it through a numerical problem. But remember, polygon is a closed figure. It will start from the x-axis and it must be finished on the x-axis. I have told you, and most of the students last time, but they could not understand this, some of them, and they did not touch their uh, graphs with the x-axis. So that is not a closed figure, so that is not a polygon then. My last graph in this case is the ogive. The ogive is a graph that represents the cumulative frequencies for the classes in a frequency distribution. Now we'll be drawing this graph by taking the class boundaries along the horizontal axis, and we'll be taking the cumulative frequencies along the vertical axis. Class boundaries, I'll let you know how do we take. First we'll find the class limits, and then we'll be finding the class boundaries. From actually in a class limit, there is one lower limit and one upper limit. Say if I say, I give you an example, say 4 to 7. For example, this is my first class, 4 to 7. So my lower limit in this case will be 4 and 7 will be the upper limit. For finding the class boundary, what I am to do and you are to do that, we'll subtract 0.5 from the lower limit and we'll add 0.5 in the upper limit for each class. Now 4 is my lower limit, so I will subtract 0.5 from it. So that will be 3.5. And my upper limit is 7. So I'll be writing it as 7.5 as far as my class boundaries are concerned. So my class boundary will be, in this case, in this particular example, will be 3.5 to 7, whereas my class limits are 3 to 7. So you noted the change. Subtract zero point 0.5 from the lower limit and add 0.5 in the upper limit. That is a way to find the class boundaries column. Fine. There is a very good example. Is a solved example is on your page 41. Try to do yourself. But to explain this concept, I will take one question. This is question number 16, and this is on your page 62, and exercise 2-2. Question is protein grams in fast food. I told you that this author of the book always gives a title to each question. I mean, the theme is clear. So in this question, he is explaining the amount of protein in grams for a variety of fast food sandwiches is reported here. Construct a frequency distribution using 6 classes. One of the important part of this question is that you are to construct a frequency distribution and you have to make 6 classes. He may ask you 8 classes, he may ask you 5 classes. So number of classes he is mentioning. So, but you are to do the next steps keeping in mind the number of classes. This is the first part of the question. The next is draw a histogram that I had explained right now. Then draw a frequency polygon as well and an ogive. All these 3 graphs for which I have given you the definition. Now we are going to draw it practically from this question. Describe the shape of the histogram. Then you are to tell what is the shape of this histogram. This data is given to you. If I count on the horizontal line, there are 10 values. On the vertical line, there are 4 values. So total data values are 40. I hope you are easy to length into width. Length is 10 and width is 4. There are 40 values. You're okay. See, step by step you will have to proceed. In step number 1, you have to find the range of this data. How do we find the range? You write the maximum value and subtract the minimum value from it. So that is the formula for the range. So maximum value, if you look at this, is somewhere in the 4th column at the bottom. 4th column, and see the last value. I'm just putting my cursor over here. Okay, this is 57. And the smallest value, if you look at here, this is 12. This is छोटी कोई value नहीं है. No value smaller than this. So subtracting smaller from the highest, I'm getting 45. My first step is clear. This is the range. This value I have got 45. I hope it's clear to all of you. Next very important thing is to find the class width. Without finding the class width, nobody can make a table. Nobody can make a frequency distribution. So how do we find the class width? The formula is range divided by the number of classes. Okay, range you have recently found 45, and the number of classes have been given to you. देखिए ये दिया हुआ है. Using 6 classes. This is mentioned in the question. So range divided by number of classes means 45 by 6. The answer is coming to be 7.5. And इसको अब आपने round up करना है. Now listen to me forever and make your concept clear forever. Rounding off or rounding up में जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. Well, अगर मैथमेटिकली इसको राउंड ऑफ करेंगे तब भी 8 आएगा, लेकिन had it been the value as 7.1, तो उसको आप राउंड अप करेंगे तो भी 8 आएगा. ओके, either it is 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, In all the cases, rounding up will give you the value as 8.